Welcome everyone to another Destiny 2 video. So today I'm gonna talk about some ideas that I have that I think could help Destiny kind of come back to life and possibly bring back more people. And help it stay open or up at least for a few years more. So the first thing is kind of risky, but at the same time what do we really have to lose? But that is to listen to players' idea. I know it's not the best thing because not everyone knows what they're talking about and we just come up with random stuff. But again, what do they have to lose? This idea could be controlled more or less, like you make a post saying like help us make the game you want, for example, and then Bungie just collects a bunch of different ideas people have and then see which one has like the most common one, you know, so you list it in order if you can, and then implement it into the game and have it up for maybe like 2 weeks and then see what the responses are to that, and if the majority likes it, add it. Not only would this obviously be good for the game because you're now like changing up some things that were previously unliked or adding things that were missing, but you're also telling people that you are now back and working on the game, and this could really help bringing back some players that left before and to keep the game up running and to make sure that people who currently are playing are going to stay. Because I mean, if you just keep on doing what you're doing, eventually it's gonna die out. So again, you don't really have that much to lose. Second thing is the portal. Yeah, what's there to say about portal that hasn't already been said? The portal was added to make it faster for you to get into an activity, which I didn't know at first. I don't know how many of you knew that, but it is really anything but faster. For example, if we go to Fireteam, only the first 3 has matchmaking on for whatever reason, plus quick play obviously. So anything like below requires you to already have a Fireteam as you go in. So if you're a solo player, you would either have to do it solo, which some people prefer, I mean that's fine. Wait for it to become one of the matchmaking one, or use the Fireteam Finder to find a team for it. And 2 out of those 3 ones is not much faster than, you know, just going to the world directory and selecting the strike playlist. The worst one is easily the Pinnacle playlist, as none of them has matchmaking on, and they're comprised with dungeon encounters, exotic missions, and even onslaught, like voice onslaught in the Pinnacle ops, and not having a permanent matchmaking on, it doesn't make sense whatsoever to me. And clearly a lot of people are not happy with this. Not to mention how it doesn't really have like all the playlists or like activities, like from strikes for example. The strike playlist isn't even here, like all the strikes aren't here, there's some in here. Then we have Gambit, which has been left out. They really don't like Gambit. So if you wanted to do that, like, you know, play some strikes, Gambit, or heck, even do dungeons and raids, guess what you have to do? That's right, you have to go to the world map, which they don't want you to do because apparently it's slower. Not only do you have to go here for Gambit, strikes, all the raids and dungeons, but you also have to go here for planets and the campaigns if you're doing those. Once again, proving how not much faster Portal is, like it's just failing at being faster. What they could have done instead is take these little playlist of Fireteam, Arena, and Pinnacles and just put them in the Strike one or in the Vanguard playlist. Just add here Fireteam, Pinnacle, and you know, Arena Ops. Just add those there. What's wrong with that? And then have it so it's always have matchmaking on. Like if you go to playing like the Vanguard Ops here for strikes, it has matchmaking on all the time. Sure, you can't select the difficulty or what mission to play, but at least it always has matchmaking on, and it's just convenient, you know. It's like you don't have to wait for weekly rotation, you're not, or daily rotation. You're not limited in only 3 of them. I don't understand why they didn't do this, but they really didn't want to do this. And I don't understand it. The third one would be weapon balancing. I think we can all agree that the weapons versus abilities is not really in harmony. This is for PvE, obviously. PvP weapons are really good, as well as abilities. They kind of feel more balanced there. But in PvE, not so much. Take like our rifles, for example. They really suck in most activities. Like anything above, like what, planetary difficulty, they kind of struggle. Although at the same time, if you use them in a raid, it does well. But if you use it in a fireteam ops, for example, it kind of sucks. I don't understand the whole balancing, like how that works. You get the same thing for scout rifles and even some pulse rifles, and it's really annoying. Like really annoying. Like primaries are pretty damn weak. The worst one is obviously the 360 rifle archetype that has never been touched ever. I don't think it's ever been touched actually. But the issue with these things is that they just keep on adding these weapons and these archetypes, and they're just taking up a slot of what could be. Like, what is the point of adding another 360 rifles if 360 rifles can't do anything? It's getting outperformed by every other archetype, and it's just like, what's even the point? I don't understand it. The other thing is just, you kind of have to spend a couple of hours either making a build for yourself with, like, you know, obviously your abilities, your exotics, all your mods, or Google it, and it's not really a way I want to play. And I think most people, or well, a lot of other people would probably want to use weapons. I don't understand why you can't do both. Like, hey, if you want to only use weapon, you can, but if you want to spend the time in like making a really good build that synergizes with maybe like use weapon here, then abilities, then weapons here, then more abilities, you know, kind of micromanaging, like going back and forth, then obviously yes, you should be able to get some sort of advantages or buffs out of that. Like, you should obviously be stronger, but making it basically the way to play, I don't really understand that part. And it's even harder for people who are like new coming into this. It's like they can't really follow a build on YouTube or Google because they're missing basically everything needed for it. They don't have the mods, the exotics, they probably don't even have the levels to do so, the resources. So why you wouldn't then focus more on weapons to make them more viable? I don't understand. Anyways, speaking of weapons and armor, the rewards. Man, was the rewards hit in this game. Really hit. This whole new tier system just completely destroyed any sense of rewards you would get from any activities whatsoever. I don't understand what's the point of it at all. So before the Age of Faith, you would do certain activities like Grandmasters, or, you know, Master Raids, Master Dungeons, even going flawless in Trials, and these would give you different rewards like Adept Weapons or an Artifice Armor, and these were the rewards to chase before, and people would spend days just farming Artifice Armor or farming GMs for the Adept Weapons plus the materials that you would get with it. And they actually did something. They actually offered you bonuses, like Adept Weapons would give you more stats when you masterworking it, plus the Adept mods could either give you 10 plus to, you know, different stats, or extra damage towards PvE enemies. So it was good for both PvP and PvE. And the Artifice Armor would give you more stats, obviously, plus it was the only way to actually get some stats for your class item, so it was really big. And having like Artifice Armor could actually help you get those triple 100s before they could really help you a lot. But now, with everything being tier 5, why should I care? Why would I go out of my way to do a GM when I can get the exact same reward from a normal fireteam ops that is set at master, which is basically the standard level? It doesn't make sense to me at all. Like, sure, in like master raids you're still getting like the emblem for completing it, but that's about it. You can still get like different type of weapon. I've seen they do that with Desert Perpetual, like the epic, where you use a different version or different set of weapons, which is kind of cool. But if those suck, then why would I care about doing epic? Whereas Adept, they were always gonna be better of that version, even if it is like a shitty weapon. At least you know like this is a better version of that, but it's still a pretty bad weapon, you know. Whereas if it's a whole different set, yes, it could definitely be better than the normal, but if it isn't, you're kind of screwed, you know what I'm saying? So what I would do with the tier system or rewards is, first of all, change the tier system. There's no reason for 5 tiers to be available, especially since you're never gonna see like a tier 1 or even tier 2. Heck, I'm basically always getting tier 5, sometimes tier 4, but yeah, I'm at max level, which shouldn't take that long for most of you to start getting only tier 5s and even tier 4s. But what I would do is reduce it down to use 3 tiers, so you have 1, 3 and 5, and 1 will be like the absolute standard. There's nothing special about it, like no masterworks. It is what it used to be, is nothing pretty much. Tier 3 would start dropping at master difficulties, normal raids and dungeons, and it would have the barrel and magazine size, or magazine enhanced. And then tier 5 would obviously drop from doing flawless in trials, doing grandmaster, master dungeon and raids, and those would be tier 5, kind of like that they are now. And I feel like that would definitely help make rewards actually a reward. It would incentivize people to do these harder tier contents rather than what it is now. It's like, again, why would I care about doing a master raid or a grandmaster when I can just do normal raid or a normal nightfall, like master nightfall, and get the same reward? To me, it doesn't make sense. I don't think most of you would like really care about it either. Like, sure, you can play for fun, but in a looter shooter, loot really matters. And when all you got is a little bit more, you know, choices in what activity to play, you know, it doesn't really work. The loot is the biggest thing in a looter shooter, so I felt like changing that would definitely help. So these are kind of the things that I thought about that could help making Destiny a bit better. Again, it's only a few changes, but I feel like these have big impact. Number one, obviously, where the players' input might have effect on the game. That is up to debate, you know. Obviously we don't know what changes that will be, but for the reward system, for example, and obviously weapon balancing, I feel like that could be huge. Changing how portal system work is something everyone has wanted for, well, ever since it came out, and I think that putting those activities into like the Vanguard playlist, and then just have matchmaking always on in a playlist similar to Strike, would instantly make it better. But anyways, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next one. Bye.